One day, whenever coverkillernation is the biggest damn thing on YouTube, and each and every one of you can claim to all of your friends that you discovered it first, I'm going to have one of those massive, huge award ceremonies, a banquet really, where I'm going to be giving out all sorts of, keynote awards such as Album of the Year, Song of the Year, different things like that. But then I'm going to have specialty categories. And one of them I do believe I found the victor of said category here in 2013, if this awards banquet ever took place. And that is the feelsiest album of the year, and it definitely has to go to Sunbather by Deafheaven. Man. It's a shame I didn't touch base on this whenever it first came out. There were clamors for this, and for some strange and stupid reason, it never happened. And I actually had listened to this album months ago, and I thought to myself at that period of time, it's too late. I missed the boat. But I made a promise to you all in the Top 35 video that I was going to clean up my mess. I was going to talk about the albums in a review that I did not do so previously, that made the list. Yeah, this is something that didn't happen in 2011, whenever Moonsorrow co-tied for the #1 spot, something that probably should have been rectified, never was rectified, and there will always be a twinge of regret in my soul for that. So I'm going to make it right now by talking about this album, not to mention the other. Well, I just talked about that one. Depending on how this is put, I don't know. So, why is this the feelsiest album of the year? Why does it have this profound effect? Why is it that the combination of heavy metal and post-rock or post-metal and shoegaze seem to have this effect, this profound effect? To the point where not only does it really captivate our senses, it also captivates our moods, our feelings, and everything else that perhaps is attached more so to our emotional person instead of our physical person. Well, this is certainly an album that's able to do so in the way in which it blends both the harshness of the metal side of things, something that we've seen in a lot of groups over the past couple of years, most notably from Alcé. However, this is one where it also is able to combine that mellow side, that more acoustic side, the side that actually seems to really have more of an attribution toward the classic shoegazing bands of the 1990s, which was a short-lived movement, however, a movement that certainly influenced a lot, considering the movement just kind of went a little more underground, or you saw it as one of many different influences in groups, as opposed to being the principal thing in which they're aiming to do. Well, this is an album that definitely is chock full of that all the way through. I can only cite certain moments, such as in the act end of Irresistible or Please Remember, where the tone of the song just completely and totally changes, and we get into something that just really grips us, because it really, the whole song has kind of geared us and brought us in, almost as though we're in some sort of quicksand or we're in a whirlpool, and we're closely coming to that center point, to that eye where we're going to be sucked down forever. And then whenever we hit that beautiful moment, it's as though we got sucked to that final portion, to that final end. And what we find at the other side, what we find at what can only be described as the grace of death, is truthfully grace. It's truthfully something of magnificence, something that has a shimmering beauty, almost as though perhaps maybe we haven't gone in yet. Instead, we've only reached the acceptance stage that death is very close by. And we are surrounding ourselves with an eminent beauty only as a way to protect ourselves from fear. This album is able to do that and do so much more. It's able to grip on us at our very most primitive our most primitive functions, from the chaos that you can hear on a lot of these tracks that can really take you all the way back to the times of the cavemen, to the animosities that they feel, to today with all of the animosities that we feel, whether it be with our best friend, our worst enemy, or from country to country. And then those softer moments remind us of the more delicate sides of the life at which we are a part of each and every single day. The Pecan Tree is certainly a song that is going to be repeated for ages and ages and ages, along with Dreamhouse. A lot of people really cite Dreamhouse as one of the best songs of 2013, and it's really hard to argue with that. But the Pecan Tree has a little moment in there where there's a little whining guitar effect. I almost call it a very dreamy guitar riff, a wow, which I just completely and totally bastardized with my awful voice. That is just perfectly placed in the shoegazing that you hear that surrounds, that just takes you on a journey. It takes you on a mental journey. It really does, ladies and gentlemen, and this is one thing where it can take you on this journey whether or not you are under the influence of any sort of drug. Yes, you don't need to smoke weed, take LSD, pop Molly, or do whatever the fuck it is you do, take a shit ton of cough syrup to enjoy this album. That's the beauty of this. You can enjoy this totally 100% straight, and believe me, the experience is almost magnified 10,000 degrees whenever you enjoy it straight, simply because you know that everything that's happening, all the different thoughts and feelings that are swirling inside of your head, those are all being naturally generated as opposed to being artificially granted by, a drug that's interacting with your system that's causing a natural generation. Okay, that second part sounded so much better. So yeah, smoke them if you got them, pop them if you got them, and really if you have some to pop, well, pop some over here because that'd be pretty cool. Imagine the lighting. Imagine everything that surrounds you. Imagine hearing this music and then witnessing it right in front of you. This is what this album is able to accomplish. It's able to accomplish it without you actually taking the drug, but whenever you take the drug, holy fuck, I can only imagine what it does. All I can say is, damn, this is an album that has such lavish grace to it, but also such a chaotic sense to it, where the shoegazing is really able to magnify both sides. The lyricism and the vocalization of really having that just harshness to it really is able to blend such a flurry of different ideals and emotions, a flurry of different atmospheres that surround. And it's definitely something that is just magnificently and exquisitely given to us throughout this 7-track affair. If you don't like long tracks, fuck you. You need to try this. You really do. These are tracks that are worth every single passing moment. These are tracks that you're actually going to go back to whenever you're looking for something to listen to on a Friday night, and you're going to remember. You're going to remember that Deafheaven gave you a gift. They gave you an album that spoke to you in ways that perhaps your more conventional musical tastes never were able to do, and it's going to make you revisit that. This is a band that definitely is deserving of every piece of accolade in which they have gotten this year. They're definitely one that they have crafted something special. And I think that it is only fair that I finally was able to give a review, and I think it was only fair that these guys were so high up on the top 35 list. It was definitely an album that, as I said, I am very, very regretting that I missed whenever it first came out, doing a review for it. And really, I'm regretting it a second time, considering after my first listen, I felt it had been too late, that I was too late to the game and too late to the party. I definitely wasn't. This is one where I think that we're going to be talking about this one for a long time, guys. And if you haven't yet, if you were like me all those months ago and you have not yet listened to this beast, if you have not yet listened to this album, please do yourself a favor. Don't wait another second. This is certainly one that you need to experience for yourself to truly believe and truly understand the fullness of what all that has just been said by myself or by anybody else that you perhaps have listened to talk about this album. So definitely take the time and take the journey.